culturally. We complain our surroundings being dirty, but hot many other countries. But the basic thing that there is a way. And if we start today, then I'm sure we can motivate people to fail. I was listening to my friend who visited Tel Aviv, a small country like Israel, able to fail, had to rise, and I believe together we can definitely grow. In the end, I will say a few lines. To dream anything you want to dream, that is the self. To test your limits, that is the courage to succeed. Thank you so much.
So, request Mr. Siddhi, please join in on the stage. Mr. Sahiyu, can you please unmute yourself? We can see the screen now.
Just give me a minute.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, we can hear you. Please.
And my presentation is visible. Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Yes, we can see the slide.
Our slides are all moving in the system.
It's moving. It's moving.
Associated with packaging material industry are providing 15% return on capital investment, double-digit growth for the last continuously 10 years. So that means that the packaging is really playing a very, very important role in the economy of India. And there are companies who are growing consistently, and there is a untapped potential in this trade, and especially after pandemic. If we see Indian paper and packaging board industry, the paper and paper board in India are expected to grow at 5.5% or more than that during the forecast of 2021-2026. But it is growing. Awareness towards paper consumption is increasing, and the Indian paper and paper products market to reach around $13.4 billion by 2024. Some issues, and when we see paper and paper board on India, so imports decreased, export also decreased. So India has a balance of trade for paper and paper products, indicating self-sufficiency, but still there are some issues. We have really nearly 860 paper mills, out of which only 526 are operational. So it means there are issues with related to the paper packaging mills and production in India, which need to be seen in the near future to limit the dependency on the import. The total installed capacity of paper production in India is around 27.5 million. The Indian paper industry demand is estimated to be around 20 MTP, which is increasing day by day. So per capita paper consumption in India is 15 kg against the global average of much more than that. If we see the market consumption of paper in India, so if we divide it into the corrugated boards, writing and printing paper, specialty paper, newsprint, so we see that corrugated boards which are used in packaging are much more than the other categories. So packaging material, brick, packaging industry, there are different rigid glass. So we can see that paper and paperboard are really playing a very important role in Indian packaging industry, wherein corrugated paper is a key. Now, we should talk about the challenges of Indian paper and paperboard packaging industry. High cost of production, as Mr. Goenka has pointed out in his presentation, and it is a very concerned area as of now, the global inflation about plastic and preference towards paper. So, years. So I am not comparing between plastic and paper, I'm just giving the facts and figures. So high probability of package type ending up in landfills. So if FMCG product packaging one-time use products with low, medium carrying capacity, and a single-use plastic, there had been a number of regulations in India and globally how to eradicate single-use plastic. So let us see what happens. But definitely this is an area of concern. And again, it's a debate, but we can see that our planet is choking on plastic because of certain issues which are more concerned with the humankind more than the it is a very important point when we talk about the use of paper. So normally people say that paper use karenge to trees cut jayenge, green cover kam ho jayega. But I think we need to understand and that there had been many researches which says that research published in Nature suggests mature forests are limited in their ability to absorb extra carbon as atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration increases. So reforestation is required. The solution is reforestation to build younger forest. So when tree matures, after pure maturity, the power of emitting oxygen decreases considerably. So it is better to do reforestation. So this myth or misconception has to be understood by the industry so that as a nature new cycle, so that there has to be cycle. If we see you see this graph, then in this graph also says that when tree matures it emits oxygen, but when it is fully matured then there is a problem. So it means that use of trees into paper is definitely leading to a circular economy if we total understand the subject and if you do not go by these sentiments. And these are the facts and figures and these are the researches. I think they have to come forward and they have to see that it is how they can produce the barrier properties. If they do not, if they are not able to produce paper with barrier properties, then industry has no option but to use plastic or a foil. So again, we are in the same boat. So industry has to understand that though there is a lot of requirement of paper, but they have to do their R&D at a much faster pace so that they can develop a barrier paper with some coatings so that we should avoid MetPet or a foil to give the OTR or required MVTR for the shelf life of a product. So packaging industry can use paper in combination with foil and sealing lacquers, which industry is doing. But again, it's a problem. And it is estimated that there shall be around 85% recycling of paper and board till 2030 as I was just that paper industry has to come forward to produce the barrier properties in the paper. But as a there had been a challenges in the paper, there had been a lot of capex. Avoid doing innovations, they are more interested in selling the paper because there is a lot of, then they have definitely have to come forward because of transfer of technology or invest a pipe for paper mills to move forward. These are the major trends in will change the packaging industry for the next 10 years. So again, I'm touching a very important point, and these are again important facts. Population is below 25 years of age, then it is a rich demographic dividend. So India has a maximum decision makers. And if we see, so if we want to sustain, if we want to increase our business, then we have to go this new generation are the leaders leaders into this. There had been a study conducted by BCG, which says that millennials and Generation Z are getting inclined toward usage of more than protection, and that liquidity and ratings without creating value chain to save the ecosystem. We have to see how we can get away from that. So again, paper might play a very important role into this. So when we talk about sustainability, there are 4 pillars: the human, social, economical, and environmental. And our important social, moral, and ethical responsibility to fast-track eco-friendly initiatives, reduction of carbon footprint in the entire supply chain, whether it is the packaging, whether it's the manufacturing, logistic, or housekeeping, or construction, or a settlement of plastic waste generated from packaging material through EPR mills. But I think these 3 pillars, human, social, and economic, are responsible to destroy the 4th important pillar, that is environmental. So I will say that power to empower, small actions are big challenges. So as a famous environmentalist, we can migrate to other planet. So this is not true. This is myth. We have to save this. We have to save this. And by doing innovations with the different kind of material, whether paper definitely plays a very important role, but there are many challenges in terms of technological transformation, in terms of pricing, in terms of inflation, dependence on trying to take more price in India. In today's price of all raw material of Indian product is more than the imported material. So we have to see, and there had been a lot of anti-dumping duty imposed by ministries on imported thing. So ultimately, if things are becoming expensive, if things are not available, so ultimately consumer has to pay money from them, from his pocket. So we have to see, we have to be responsible from all angles. And if we talk about sustainability, so unless and until business models are not sustainable, sustainability won't work. So it has to be seen from all the angles. So this is just a very small presentation from my side. I tried to capture the basic data points with facts and figures. And I'm again sorry that I couldn't come myself to meet you all in person. And I wish you all the best and healthy life in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanjay Gupta. We'll move on to the next presentations now. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. Moving ahead, we are moving with our second session, moving on to our next session, which is the MEDAS transitioning with sustainable and recyclable paper solutions that focus recyclable, reusable, and environment-friendly packaging material produced with sustainable and energy-efficient process. We are happy to welcome on dais our next speaker, Dr. Kriti Soni, Head R&D, Kapiva Ayurveda. Please give a huge round of applause, everyone. Dr. Soni has a rich experience in developing novel drug delivery systems. Dr. Soni has developed several patented technologies for enhancement of topical permeation and enhancement of oral bioavailability of drugs, herbs, and phytochemicals. She superheads the intellectual property filling for her clients, which includes national patent applications, PCT, trademarks, etc., as well as product approvals as per FSSAI, drug and cosmetic, Ayush, etc., are also her responsibility. She is recognized by FSSAI as Food Safety Supervisor and Trainer for Nutraceuticals. Please welcome her on stage. Ma'am, heartiest welcome to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, yeah, I'm audible, right? So, a very good afternoon to all of you. So glad and happy to see the presence and the gathering over here. So I would not say the kind of gathering that we have right now here, but regarding the whole the event, I must say. So, I would like to thank the organizers to start with to organize this event, because we really understand as a scientific community today that the importance of sustainable packaging is a lot. We've been using plastic like, anything, and it's all around. But we today understand that the plastic that was there 100 years back is still in our ecosystem, which is very alarming. And that is why we are, now started to realize, we have started to realize that it's very important to move to sustainable ways of packaging. I was looking at the numbers because, the numbers are always very, very suggestive, and they help us understand a lot of things. So today, as we, if we see the last year's stats, the paper packaging industry stands at $402 billion, which is a big number. And it's expected to grow at, a very tremendous rate, at a, rate of 6.5%. And is expected to reach a very, I would say, remarkable number by the end of 5 years from now. So talking about that, I would really like to, take your attention towards the fact that when we say what kind of packaging material we can use for our products, they can be of various types if we focus on just paper. So it's not just the primary, secondary, or the tertiary packs that we talk about. So if I talk about in detail, I understand that Mr. Sanjay Gupta has already touched upon the fact that what different kinds of packaging types could be there, or how paper can be used, and how important is to use paper in these different kinds of packaging. But it also becomes very important for all of us to understand that there can be a primary package which is like in direct contact with the product, the secondary package which basically encases your jar, tube, etc., or any kind of the product itself, and the tertiary pack wherein you actually put the product for shipping, like for example your corrugated packing. So when we talk about your shippers or your cartons, which are the bigger ones paper can have, today we see a lot of brands shifting to sustainable packaging. So when we say sustainable, it's not just the natural materials that we talk about. It is not just glass, it's not just paper. There are a lot of innovations that can be done in this segment. So you can have a composite mixture of say paper and bamboo, which is reinforced in terms of its strength. Because with paper, there are sometimes concerns regarding to its tensility, its strength. But today with the innovations that we have been able to overcome these challenges. And we see today cosmetics also being packaged. If we look at the world stats today, we'll see that the US and European markets have moved towards recycling paper a lot, which even, till date, I think the Asian markets are not being able to do it. So it's recycle them in some way or the other and make them useful again. This is the need of the hour. And with that, I would like to just take you through what I wanted to convey. So sustainable packaging is definitely the need of hour. If you look at the world, a lot of stuff from China for packaging because of, maybe the finish of the packaging or the superiority of the packaging. But when we talk about packaging, it becomes very, very important for us as innovators or industry people to understand that it's not just the product that you are securing or protecting. When we talk about cosmetic products, it becomes very important for us to understand it doesn't leach out anything. That is why we go for inert packaging materials, and plastic is the first choice that people use of maybe cost, maybe lightweightedness. But why are we forgetting that we do have some very attractive options in paper today, which is colorful, which is lightweight, which is cost friendly. And of course, this is there in our ancient culture. We should never forget that, our ancient medicine, which is Ayurveda, never had plastics. We always talked about being, renewable, using plant leaves or using bamboo or using earthen pots, and of course the paper, which is, of course it was not in that form at that stage, but there were leaves, and we derive paper from plants. So we need to really think that how we can recycle this paper pulp and to show you the alarming situation of plastic generation throughout the world. Again, like if we see the trend over last several years, we see that the concern of using the sustainable packaging options is going up and up day by day, which is very, very, great, because this is something which is required. Even if when we talk about some biodegradable polymers, which we say that, can be left to the environment, and then between how we can stop plastic waste being generated. It is very good to see that many of the food vendors have now moved to the paper packaging because of, a lot of concern globally. The paper packaging is very light. It also offers you, easiness of discarding, easiness of use, and that is something that is being used. Even the spoons that were used earlier were made with plastics. Now we see they are all made of wood, which is a great step. And we just need to keep improving in that aspect. Now we talk about what is sustainable packaging. So it has 5 major cornerstones. The first being recyclable. So we have seen this symbol on a lot of the products that we use. So what does it signify? It signifies that the packaging is made with a recyclable material, and if you throw it, and if there is a proper segregation, that material can be recycled, and you can again, derive some kind of a option from it. But how many times have you seen that segregation happening at your home? I am sure that nobody is keeping the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste bin separately at home. We see it in the public places, we see it in the malls, but it's very difficult to do it with the household garbage, because nobody, and this is a problem. The segregation doesn't happen at times at the place where it is being discarded, the landfills. So ultimately what happens is that the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste sits there together, and it is not helping the environment again. So this is the biggest concern that is being faced right now, even with the recyclable substances or packaging materials that we are using currently. Then next comes, is the packaging beneficial, safe and healthy for individual and communities throughout its life cycle? So when I say this, I actually intend to say that whether the material through which it is made or the dyes which are used for printing, the ink, whether it is safe. Have we done appropriate safety testing? Do we have the data to support that? So this is about how we can make sure that the packaging is safe and sustainable in terms of the health aspect of it. The next is the package sourced, manufactured, transported in a form that it is using renewable energy at every step? So we today understand that, we hear in the news that there is a shortage of electricity happening because of shortage of coal. Coal is not a renewable source. We need to, really shift towards renewable sources of energy, be it hydroelectricity, solar power, and in a way improve this entire life cycle of the product. The fourth is the package manufactured in a clean production technology using the best practices. So, the process should not be such that you end up polluting the environment, and ultimately the whatever outcome you are having, it's not just helping anybody, because it's anytime polluted, and the process is also very, very hazardous. And the last is the packaging physically designed to optimize the material and energy. So we actually, ultimately it should be a profitable process. The industry will only bank upon it when it is cost saving. It's ultimately beneficial for the entire economics. So that has to be ensured while you design a sustainable packaging. Okay, so there are different kinds of things that you can do. So there is reduce, reuse, recycle, renew and return, which actually means that these are the different steps that you can adopt in order to make the packaging sustainable, where you reduce your dependence on different kinds of non-biodegradable materials. You reuse the non-biodegradable materials. Like for example, there is a PET bottle that you can reuse over a period of time. Even for example, there is a glass bottle which per se comes under a natural or a biodegradable substance, but it can be reused multiple times, and then you renew and reuse. So that life cycle goes on. There are different kinds of materials that come under sustainability and biodegradable packaging. So one is organic fabrics. So we see a lot of brands moving towards this kind of packaging. When we go to a supermarket or a shopping complex, we always see that now there are fabric bags that have started. In terms of fabric bags, there are a lot of options like hemp, lignin, cellulose, so many options out there which are being used as a bag for carrying. It does reducing our dependence on the plastics. Then there is recycled cardboard and paper, which also plays a very important role. Then bioplastics, edible packaging and seaweed packaging. So what is edible packaging? So as we understand today, paper is made out of cellulose. There are multiple cellulose derivatives which are completely edible. We eat plants, they have cellulose. So edible packagings are also made out of it. There is a very nice innovation that came up. Just like the bottle of water that is sitting on your table, there is I would say a ball of water which you can actually gulp, and you don't need a plastic bottle to package it. So these are the kind of innovations that are happening. It's just that we need to make sure that they are available to the consumers in such a way that it is not polluted, it is safe to consume. So that kind of innovation keeps on happening as of now. And seaweed, again, of course, the algae derivatives, which are there for a long time, and just we are trying to improvise on the presentability. Now we come to how sustainable packaging can be made benefit to people. So there are certain criteria that a sustainable packaging has to meet. First of all is it beneficial, safe and healthy for the individuals and community. It should meet the marketing criteria for performance and cost. It should be sourced through all principles of renewable energy. It should optimize the renewable and recycled resources. Should be manufactured in a clean setup, or say for example it should not pollute the environment. It should be made from materials which are healthy throughout its life cycle and should not be polluting to the environment, and physically designed to optimize the material energy. So it basically, this summarizes what sustainable packaging actually means. It should not be hampering health of the environment or individual. So in a nutshell we can say that. Now these are different kinds of different kinds of polymers which are there. So one of them are bio-based, other are oil-based, and there is a huge range of these biodegradable polymers as well, like PLA, which is polylactic acid, or the non-biodegradable ones like PE, PP, PET. All of these are also there. Now what makes a package sustainable? So like I said, these are the major criterias. It should be sustainably sourced. It should be green, it should have a green disposable option, optimized packaging, long-term cost efficiency. So industry will only opt to these measures not just because there are several risks. All industries are mandated to follow EPR regulations, wherein whatever plastic waste they generate, they have to be very, very careful about it. But apart from that, in order to make it happen in long run, very cost efficient. Now, there are multi-stage process steps to create a sustainable packaging. First of all being ethical sourcing, like I've been stressing on. So the sourcing has to be very, very ethical. When I say ethical, it should be consumer use, then reuse, and last is the end of the life cycle of the packaging. So how it is getting disposed in the end, or how it behaves in the environment, is the entire life cycle or the stage-wise development that has to happen while designing a sustainable packaging. So any innovator or a developer should be aware of these 6 stages and then determine what kind of fate is it going to have and what is the outcome of that particular source. Be it paper, be it cardboard. So one has to make sure that it is, it is being disposed properly, it is not harming the environment in any way, and that is about it. Then we talk about the sustainable packaging strategy. So this is just a snapshot of what I've been discussing throughout, and I hope that by taking I would say that when the industry adopts these measures of opting for sustainable packaging, there should be a clear guidance of how it should be disposed, what is the sourcing, and that has to be maintained end to end. And only if we do it in terms of different product cycles, like for example, it is a cosmetic, then the testing has to be different. If it is a food, then there are several sets of testings that need to be done, because at every point, be it healthcare, be it food, be it cosmetics, we are dealing with human safety. And I believe that all these steps are mandatory for us to observe. And these are some of the examples that the personal care industry has moved to. Like, because I come from the from pharmaceutical background and have seen the aspects of nutraceuticals as well as cosmeceuticals. There are a few examples that I would like to show over here, wherein the paper-based or paper pulp-based sustainable packaging options are being adopted throughout the globe. So I think this is a very good step. There you see the food packagings which are being used in terms of the paper-based packagings, which are either the envelopes or the paper cups, etc., which are reinforced to maintain the food hygiene as well as safety, and of course the cosmetic products. So with this, I would like to thank you all for your time, and again, I would like to thank the organizers to give me this opportunity to speak to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful presentation. Thanks a lot for being here with us. Moving ahead. Now I request Ms. Harmandeep Kaur, Project Head Seminars and Conferences, Hive Group, to join me over here for the felicity. Would like to call over here Dr. Kriti Soni, Head R&D, Kapiva Ayurveda. Please join in. Please join us on the stage. Can we have a huge round of applause, everyone? Thanks a lot for being here with us. Thank you. So we're going to have our next session at 2:15 p.m. So I request all of you to join us. And right now we are moving ahead we have a lunch so we have our next session at 2:15 p.m. So please join in, all of you out there. Thank you so much. Join us at 2:15 p.m. sharp. Thank you.